The only thing that I'm concerned about looking at the offer from Mr. Altenberg is it doesn't address the other case. And I know that we had two cases, so let me just, he may have put a conditional motion to dismiss in the other case. So let me just take a look at that as well so that we're on the same page here.
So before you say, click here,
He did. Okay.
take that out.
So you had the first case, and we've talked about that, and you had a deferred prosecution for that first case. And then you picked up the second case, and what the prosecutor is willing to do is in the second case, the one that's the most recent one that you've received, he's offering you what's called a deferred judgment. You've probably heard me discuss that with others, but let me go over it with you so that you understand what it means. A deferred judgment means that you plead guilty to the charge that is pending today. And that's a possession of alcohol by someone under the age of 21. The case stays open in this case, for a 9-month period. You'd be expected during that 9-month period to not have any other similar charges involving alcohol or drugs. You'd also be expected to complete 16 hours of community service and then do a substance use screen by probation and complete whatever class the probation officer determines for you to complete. If you go for that 9-month period without any other criminal charges of a similar nature, you complete the community service by the deadline and you complete the substance use class by the deadline, then we're going to withdraw the guilty plea that you enter today and dismiss the case. On the old case that you have, the one that you had done the deferred prosecution for, the prosecutor is willing to dismiss that at this juncture so that you only have one case open, and that would be the new case. So that's the option that's been made available to you. If you know that you want to accept it, we can do that now. If you want to take some time to think about it, we could let you have some time to think about it.
I would like to accept the offer, Your Honor.
All right. Now, unlike the deferred prosecution, this requires that you plead guilty to the charge of possessing alcohol and being under the age of 21, which means you're giving up your right to trial on that charge and all of the other rights I just described to the group. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand this charge of possessing alcohol by someone under the age of 21?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree that there's evidence to support that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are doing this without the benefit of a lawyer to represent you. I mentioned earlier you could hire counsel or you could apply for the public defender. Are you comfortable going forward without a lawyer to assist you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that the criminal law can be complicated and that a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're a CU student, so I assume you understand the rights that you're giving up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty. It is to the charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol in violation of section 574 of the Boulder Revised Code on September 13th of 2025 at 10:15 Cockrell. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept that guilty plea. We'll place you on the deferred judgment. It'll be for the 9-month term. You'll have 16 hours of community service. You'll also have the alcohol class that is determined by our probation officer for you to complete. There are $165 in fees that you'll be required to pay the court. And then when you do the community service, that's actually going to be monitored by the SLICE program on campus. So they'll charge you a $25 fee. I reduced my fee by $25 knowing that you're going to have that fee with them. So you'll have $165 to pay to our court. You'll have the community service and you'll have the class to complete. And I'm going to have a conversation I'm going to make a statement to both of you when I'm done taking this, but let's talk to Ms. Grant's case and we'll send you both back to meet with probation here in just a moment. Let me see what I've got in the file for you, Ms. Grant. And again, it'll be similar, I believe, but let me pull it up. And I do have an offer in the file for a deferred judgment. 16 hours of community service, the substance use screen that you'd be required to complete as well. And let me just double check that he's also put a dismissal motion in for the other charge, just so that we're clear as to what exactly is going to happen. Yes. So he'll dismiss the old case. Then he wants you to plead guilty to the new charge. You'll be on the deferred judgment for 9 months. You have the community service to complete, which is 16 hours, and then the substance use class. Is that what you'd like to do with your case as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do Do you have any questions before we go forward?
I do not.
All right, I've got those questions that I have to ask any defendant that's pleading guilty to a charge. Are you choosing to plead guilty voluntarily?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty? Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol? Do you understand this charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol?
Yes.
Do you agree that there's evidence to support that
Yes.
charge? You are doing this without the benefit of a lawyer to assist you. Are you comfortable going forward without a lawyer?
Yes.
Do you understand that the criminal law can be complicated and that a lawyer might do a better job of assisting you than you do in representing yourself? I am going to find it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty and without the benefit of counsel. Let me accept the plea. It is to the charge of possession or consumption of alcohol in violation of section 574 of the Boulder Revised Code on September 13th of 2025 at 10:15 Cockrell. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept that guilty plea. You'll have the 16 hours of community service. You'll also have the substance use class. You'll be on the deferred judgment for the 9-month period for the one charge that's pending. You'll have the $165 in fees and costs to payouts, and then you'll have the $25 to the SPICE program. I just want to say to both of you all, it's always disappointing for me to have someone appear in front of me, have me talk a little bit about why we do this program and say, don't get any other charges, and then have them literally come back within a few weeks and with new charges. It's just disappointing for me. And I know what it is, and I'm saying this partly for the folks who are out in the audience who may be getting the deferred prosecution for first offenses, but it's really important that you both recognize where you are now, especially now. If you get another charge, I know enough about our prosecutors that they're very, very lenient with individuals who come to court in your age category because they want to have you leave the court system and leave the university system without conviction on your record. If you come back with a third, you're not going to walk away here without them pursuing a conviction. They may or may not be successful, but they will probably not offer you a plea bargain that resolves your cases where you don't have to end up with a conviction on your record. So I want you to both understand that you are really in jeopardy of having that follow you around. And because there are databases that are out there, it's pretty easy for someone to access information about your prior history. If we sealed your record, if you earn a dismissal of these charges, for both of you, still have the opportunity to do that. So if you can get these charges dismissed and your record sealed, if you ever apply for graduate school or you're applying for jobs, unless you're applying with the Federal Bureau of Investigation or a police agency, they're not going to be able to access this record. So it's really important that you take advantage of that opportunity. It's been way, way too long since I was in your situation, but I understand what happens when you go to college. You want to participate in the social activities that others are participating in. You're not the same as everyone else right now because you have these prior cases that are open. So you have to make sure that you take steps that perhaps others are not taking because they're not in the same risk category that you're on. And so just make sure you're thoughtful as you go forward. I'm expecting that I won't see you all again, that you're going to get these things done by the date that Ms. Betancourt gives to you, and that you literally won't have to see me again. And as long as that's the case, then I'll be perfectly happy to have these cases resolved the way they are being resolved. Do either of you have any questions for me before I send you back? Okay, I'm going to send you back to see probation. You've been back there before, so you know your way. Just make your way there, and then Fernando will meet with you both.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Good luck. And I'm calling you up in groups because the other group that is here, the folks who I'm now calling, you all are here presumably because this is your first offense and the prosecutor has determined that you're eligible for a deferred prosecution. I called those other two young ladies first because I really wanted you all to see what might happen if you pick up another charge. And those young ladies had already paid for their deferred prosecution. They'd already started their class that they were ordered to complete. And now they have to come back and they've lost the money that they invested in whatever time they invested on the class. They're back in court. Now they're pleading guilty to charges with community service, 16 hours being added on, and the possibility that they'll end up with a conviction on their record. So I want all of that to be soaking in for our defendants who I'm calling next, because you're in the position that they were in just a few short weeks ago, which is to, if you choose to accept the deferred prosecution, one of the conditions of the deferred prosecution is that you not get new charges. So that's the key for me, is making sure people understand that if you get a new charge, While this case is outstanding for you, then you're going to lose the benefit of the deferred prosecution, assuming that you choose to accept it. And I want to also make sure that everybody understands that the deferred prosecution is an offer from the prosecutor to resolve your case. You can't be forced to accept the offer. It's just one way that you can proceed to resolve your case. But we will start with Ms. Surface, and you're under 18, is that right, Ms. Surface?
Yes,
Okay, and is your mom here with you, or an adult guardian?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I just want to make sure she's here and she can give you guidance if you need it, but I wanted to make sure I made a record that she's here. You do have a deferred prosecution offer in your file. A deferred prosecution does not require that you plead guilty to anything. The case will stay open for you, and in this case, it will be for a 6-month term. And there's one other benefit that you have that others might not have with your case, and you and the other folks who are here today. If you get the class done that's ordered, we don't have to wait for the 6 months. As soon as that class is done and we have the certificate back, we're going to dismiss your case and seal your record. So as long as you do what you're promising to do, if you accept this agreement, then you can get the case closed really quickly. And then you don't have to run the risk that something else happens and then you lose the benefit of the deferred prosecution. If you accept this, it'll be to a charge of possession or consumption of marijuana by someone under the age of 21. You would not be required to plead guilty, but you would be required to complete the substance use class that's directed by our probation department. There would be a $100 fee that you'd pay the court for the deferred prosecution. And then as soon as we had proof, the case could be dismissed and your record sealed. Have you thought about whether you'd like to accept that offer? Do you want to talk to your mom about it, or is she giving you the sign that she thinks it's okay? You want to go ahead and accept it? All right. And are you a CU student or not? Okay, where do you go to school?
Boulder High School.
Boulder High, okay. That's important for us to know simply because the class that we order won't be the class that we order CU students to complete. They'll be taking something that's offered on campus. We're going to give you a class that's an online class that you'll be required to complete. Can you pay the $100 deferred prosecution fee today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If your mom helps, I want you to pay her back. You're the one that's accountable for this. If you pay it straight up, that's perfectly great as well. I am going to place you on the deferred prosecution for that 6-month term. And we're going to have you now meet with our probation officer in just a few moments, but I'm going to send you back in groups of 3 just so that she can have the same conversation with of 2 groups rather than 6 individuals. So if you'll just step to the side for a moment, Ms. Surface, we'll call the next case,
Thank you.
which is, you're welcome. This is Kinsley Treese.
Yes.
Hello, Ms. Treese. Ms. Treese, you have a charge, and this is a charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol. I'm assuming you'll have the same offer, but let me take a moment to just pull up your file. I do have an offer for a deferred prosecution, and it is for a 6-month term. So just like the last young lady that I spoke to, you have the opportunity to accept the deferred prosecution. That means you wouldn't be pleading guilty to anything. You would just have the case stay open for 6 months. There is a $100 fee associated with the deferred prosecution. Have you thought about whether you'd like to accept that or not?
Yes, I would like to accept.
Okay. I'll ask you, have you heard yet from the University of Colorado? Sometimes they will send you a text out or an email saying we need to speak with you about the violation of from the Office of Judicial Conduct.
I think I got one yesterday.
Okay.
So
real important that you keep track that these are 2 separate entities. You've got the University of Colorado over here with their Code of Judicial Conduct. They have the right to pursue sanctions against you for violating CU policies. And then you've got the court, which is imposing consequences or sanctions according to the criminal law, and that's different. We work together, which means that they are aware of what class we might order. We ask you to share that with them so that they know what class when they meet with you. But the goal is that whatever class that we set for you, you only have to take 1 class. You don't have to take 2. If they say, gee, we'd really rather you to take a higher level class than the court has ordered, or vice versa, if we order a higher level class, then take the higher level class and give proof to both agencies. Make sure both agencies get proof that you've completed the class. That way they can close up whatever they've got through the Office of Judicial Conduct, and we can close up our case. So just sharing that with everybody. If you are a CU student, you're likely to hear from the university at some point, and just keep in mind that that's a separate process. And you have indicated that you want to accept this, so I am going to make this in order with the court. It'll be for a 6-month deferred prosecution to that charge. We're going to have you meet with probation here in just a few moments so that they can, the probation officer can determine the class for you. And if you'll just have us, or just stay right where you are for a moment, Ms. Treese, we'll call the next case, which is Ireland Duran. Hello, Ms. Duran.
Hello.
Ms. Duran, you also have a charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol. And I'm going to pull up your case just to confirm that you have the same offer. I assume that you will, but let me pull it up. Yes, you do have an offer for a deferred prosecution. It will be for a 6-month term. You'd be expected to complete the alcohol class that's ordered by our probation department, pay the $100 fee, and then, of course, go through the next 6 months or even shorter without any other violations. Have you decided whether you'd like to accept that or
I'd
not?
like to accept, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me about how it works?
No.
It's okay, folks. If you have questions, feel free. I'm happy to answer them for you if I can. You'll be eligible for the deferred prosecution. I am going to make it a court order. And we're going to have you meet with probation here in just a few moments. Before I send you back, I wanted to share a couple things for the group as a whole again. We give you a court date. That's the due date for completing the class and making sure that we have the certificate back in our file. When you complete the class and give us the certificate, the prosecution will then file a motion to dismiss, or our probation officer will dismiss your case. If you have heard from the court that your case has been dismissed, then you can rest comfortably that you don't have to come back on that court date. If you have not heard from us, then there may be a glitch in the process, or perhaps you haven't sent to us proof that you've completed the class. You either need to touch base with the probation officer and make sure you're communicating with her, or come to court on that court date. If you didn't come to court and your case hadn't been dismissed, then a warrant could issue for your arrest. I do not want that to happen to anybody in this courtroom. I would much rather you just appear in court, tell me why you didn't get it done. If you just didn't get it done for some reason, please come back. I'm not putting you in jail for not getting it done. I may order some fines or order community service for not getting it done on time, but that's much better than having a warrant outstanding, because then it does go in a criminal database. When they issue a warrant, it goes into a criminal database and that follows you around. So don't fail to come back to court, because that could make things difficult. The other thing I will stress for you is get yourself signed up for the class right away. I've seen probably 300, maybe more college students, maybe it's 500, I don't even know at this point, but a lot of young people in the last 4 or 5 weeks. They are all signing up for classes. Some of them got on it right away and their cases are already dismissed, and some are waiting to get signed up. And so if they sign up tomorrow and then you wait for others who are going to come and see me next week, you may not get signed up in time to get the class done by the deadline that's set for you, or you may be given one option because all the other ones are closed up and it's going to fall on the day of some kind of class that you have to attend, or a mid-semester test that you might have. I don't want that to be the case for anybody. It's really easy for you to get signed up for the class, get it completed. Don't wait to do that so that you're not in a jam down the road. All right, so for you three, I'm just going to send you back to meet with probation. They're going to get you on your way, and then that'll wrap things up. All right, thank you. And
Thank you.
Nick, do you want to walk them back? That would be great. Thanks.